No, no. I know you like to hide some things on your games.
Oh yeah.
I
yeah.
want to know if there are some things that no one discovered yet.
Oh, I'm quite sure there are. I know about
Yeah.
a couple examples right now from the top of my head that I never saw.
Uh-huh.
It just takes players a long time to
Yeah.
discover like some of the Easter eggs and like details that we hid in Witcher 3 were found like 7 years after
Yeah.
the release of the
Yeah,
base game, you
yeah.
know. Only after I remember we shipped the ultimate edition, right? Or the complete edition, I think is the name. You know, the patch 4.0 for Witcher 3, you know, the release on the next gen. Only
Yeah.
then people found some things.
Yeah.
Because people came back and replayed, you know, some of the things. So,
But
100%.
there were some things you guys included on the next generation.
Correct. We've included things, but also there were things that were always there. It just like no one really found them. But then when, you know, I would say new players came in and, you know, when the game was refreshed, you know, released on the new platforms, then a lot of people came in and started playing. And Cyberpunk is the same case, really. Like, we saw a lot of players coming back to the game after patch 2.0,
Yeah.
after Phantom Liberty, and patch 2.1, so the ultimate edition of Cyberpunk, when we added, like, for instance, the metro system, the enhanced, expanded romances with all the characters. There was like more things that we have included there. So every single time when there's like more players coming to the game, they do discover a couple more things, but there's still plenty because like it's like I think that this is like one of the most fun things to do. To just be like, oh yeah, and I will just include here this really cool reference. You know, I saw the reference to just I think it was 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago on Reddit. People saw that on Phantom Liberty when you're on the black market, there's this metal beam, and on that metal beam you have this couple men sitting there with their legs down, and this is a reference to very famous picture from I think 1942 when the Chrysler building was built in New York, and then there's this very famous picture of this really long beam with men sitting, you know, with the traditional hats. You probably recall the picture, the black and white. You know, that you could see there, and it was a reference to this, right? And someone discovered, oh yeah, this is this. So there's so many things like this in the game. It just takes time, I think, to discover and find.
Oh, you're saying some. We think something. I think something actually about these huge games like open world games, big games, and I say that like Elden Ring and Zelda, the recent Zelda games. I always said that these games are not made for. It's made for be a shared experience. Because
interesting.
Because it's almost impossible you find everything alone. Do you take that in consideration today? Because today you have the internet and everybody breaks the games apart and everybody finds stuff.
People data mine. People data mine games.
And,
right?
and people, and I'm not talking about Easter eggs, you know, but you know, to find all the legendary sets from Geralt in Witcher 3. You do that alone, it's almost impossible, right?
Exactly.
And so do you think that right now? Because in the past, that would be a bad thing, because you are putting stuff in a game that no one will find alone, you know? But now with the internet, with the videos and the sharing and the guides and everybody together, do this, you take that in consideration?
Oh, absolutely.
We believe that some games, Elden Ring, for an example, that are made thinking about the people who will play and share their experience, their findings on the internet, so you will complement.
I mean, excellent points, guys. I think you were really, really on point with this. The thing is that when I will just make it like a short example and go back to your question. When I train my designers, one of the things I always tell them that you cannot really see how your design was received until you went the full path. And for me, the full path is you write the design, you write the screenplay, then you implement it, then you polish it, then you ship the game. And then on Twitch or YouTube, you watch influencers, YouTubers, whoever, you watch people consuming it and commenting live on your content. And then, only then, when you hear them what they think and what they feel, you can come back to the very beginning of your document and ask yourself a question: did I achieve my result, my objective? So when I fought as a designer, I wanted them to be scared. I wanted them to be terrified. I wanted them to feel pity about someone. Did you arrive at that? Did you succeed? Only then when you went to pull that path. And like nowadays, it's fantastic. Honestly, the fact that you can like watch someone consume your content, your game, and react live when they talk and they say, oh shit, no, I should be like when people were playing like Phantom Liberty and the debacle between like Reed and Somi and what to choose, and when they were thinking, and I saw some YouTubers, some streamers like stuck for like 10-15 minutes on that choice, being like, I just don't know what to do, and like explain their thought process. The moment when you can see that happen, that thought process, then as a designer, I can internalize and I can be like, yes, I actually intended to take you, through that journey and make you, and I wanted you to think that. It's really, really difficult. I always try to teach my designers that our job as a designers is to control what player thinks and what player feels. Those two things. And really, like, without having this full loop happen, it's very difficult to really completely see it. So now, through that, going to your question, you can see that we always take it into account. I always tell my designers, watch your content being played by someone live. Watch YouTubers, watch streamers, and see, because you will see how they think. And there's so many things that we actually did in the game with a perspective of someone will find it and then other people's will. And there's this one really huge secret that we had in Cyberpunk 2077.
It's the
FF06B5, yeah.
Okay.
So we've been denying it for a very long time and doing all and again, I won't say anything more here because I'll keep the narrative. Narrative being I'm not commenting on it publicly, but there are things that when we've been looking into it, and players know, because like it's a very, very elaborate puzzle. It's so complex that you cannot do it on your own. It's just impossible. It's like borderline impossible. But there is a subreddit called FF06B5, right? And there are incredible people there. Incredible. Like the way they think, it's just like, you cannot imagine how much giggling I had from like reading those posts, how they think and how they, and sometimes they're like incredibly close and sometimes they're like completely far away, but it makes sense. I just checked the logic and I'm like, it makes sense. Like it does make sense what they're saying. It's not what I intended at all, with the teams that we designed it. But it makes sense. So anyway, it is exactly this example. And and I don't want to go more into detail, but there are things that you can find and unlock. And our assumption was that when you play, some people will spend a lot of time trying to figure this out. So when they know how to unlock it, unlocking it should be really easy. Why? Because then they can share with community. And that's exactly the answer to your question. That was exactly the way we designed it. Because we designed it to be incredibly difficult to do, but we didn't want everyone to go through that super difficult path, because it's even a bit tedious and a bit difficult and hard to do that. But we wanted everyone to enjoy it, that the community managed to do that, and then everyone can enjoy the spoils of war, what comes from there, the reward, that we included. And then there's something very unique that we have here.
We followed the
okay. So you guys know.
We did a live stream on the Phantom Liberty, and in the middle of the live, someone commented on the chat that there was some new stuff on the game for this Easter egg. So we went there and found the arcade. That's so cool, man. That's it's a new mini game just for the Easter egg. That's crazy. And it must be hard to do a complex puzzle like that takes such a long time to the community to find out everything.
I mean, but it's also like super fun, because like the thing is like, and maybe this is also not for every developer, because like I know for a fact that when we ship the game, there will be a huge community that play that game, and there will be people that will data mine that game. They will just try to look into files. So we know it. Like we know that players will do it, right? So we can plan for it.
Yeah.
You can hide
we
the
can-
files.
Well,
You can change the name of the file. This happens every time. Yeah.
We can do it, and we can do various things. You know, we can do various things knowing about this, because, like, again, maybe when you are like a smaller indie, team and so on, and you don't yet, because maybe eventually we'll have, but you don't yet have this like huge fan base that just like really digs into your files
Yeah.
and checks everything. Maybe then it's a bit difficult. I agree. The designing a puzzle that would take years to crack and no one will probably find it. It's a bit frustrating and, makes probably no sense at the end of the day.
So
But we know what our community is
Yeah.
capable of.